We're live and we're a few minutes late. I don't know who might already be here, but we appreciate anybody who tunes in to listen to us talk. My name's Dale, aka Dolphin Dale, hence the name of the channel. I think it's kind of obvious uh, why the channel is named Dolphin Dale. And tonight, my guests are my good buddy Dave Dampier. Run up and down the road, going to music concerts, and we've been seeing Russ for
decades.
Forever. Yeah. And Krystal, who runs the Russ Taff page that we joined in our little merry group because we see her every year at Bell Buckle. Well, Dave does now. I've got to start getting back.
Yeah.
So
and you're called Dolphin Dale because you're a huge fan of Gandalf, right?
That's
what I understand.
That's it. That's exactly it. So this particular video, I kind of had been tossing around an idea because let's see, we got a comment already.
Oh, it's just me.
Is that you?
Yeah, sorry.
You're shadowing yourself.
All right. Well, we got our comments anyway. Hey, all right. So where was I? Oh, I was talking about. What was I talking about? Oh, the idea
why
for
we're
this
here.
Video. Yeah. So thinking about Russ's career, Russ Taff's career, 3-time Gospel Music Hall of Famer, started occurring to me. He's extremely well connected. And from his time with the Imperials, singing with having some of the big pop producers, Michael Amarty and such, to his time as a solo artist, doing more pop and rock, and then his excursion into country music, which, even though it didn't seem to last very long, he still seems to have connections in that area, to his time with the Gaithers.
Maddie will say, remember when my dad went country for about a minute?
Yes.
Yep.
But those connections still are prevalent because I've seen him pop up on soundtracks. He sang on the Hank Williams the soundtrack for one of the Hank Williams films that came out, I don't know, 4 or 5 years ago. He sang Honky Tonk Man. And so you still see him pop up in country music circles, including his appearance at the Grand Ole Opry a couple of years ago. So it occurred to me that forget Kevin Bacon.
Yeah.
How many people can we get within 6 degrees of Russ? And so I thought we would explore that a little tonight, hoping to get some folks in to shoot some names out of the blue at us, but we can start working with some of the big names in music. I've been practicing a little bit. I think I can get some of the big names in, shockingly, few, not even 6 degrees. So, yeah. So I don't know who came up with the idea of 6 degrees of Kevin Bacon, but we're going to steal it and start working. So, who should we start with? That's the big question.
Well, I'll tell you what. I can link Russ to Glenn Kaiser and Larry Norman in one move.
Okay.
That was 1985, The Cause. If you remember that single that came out.
Okay, yes.
It was the CCM version of We Are the World.
We Are the World.
And there's like 36 big artists on that. He's linked all of them now.
Oh wow, I forgot about
I
that.
did not think
Oh, yeah.
about pulling that album. I think I have it. I'm not sure, but
Which also ties him to people like Sheila Walsh and Steve Taylor and Eddie DeGarmo, and I mean a whole slew of them right there.
right,
And that's just 1 degree.
right.
Yeah.
Well, I
Huh.
think it might surprise some folks. Let's start with the Beatles. We can link all of the Beatles. We can get one of the Beatles in 2 degrees, and all the rest of them in 3. Well, because of course they know each other.
Yes.
So the big link, going from Russ to Paul McCartney, is Phil Keaggy.
Exactly.
We know Phil, longtime friend of Russ. They performed together on albums like the Keith Green tribute. They performed on that together. They've toured together. Phil was at Bell Buckle a couple years ago. So their connection is long established. And then I am not sure when it happened. I believe maybe the 90s when Phil played a wedding, and Paul McCartney was one of the guests. And they met. And I probably could pull it up. Let's see here. There was a picture that I remember seeing that I thought was super cool of Phil and Paul. It looked like they were sitting in a hotel room yeah, here it is.
Which, as we all know, Phil was a huge fan of the Beatles when he was a young man, even a kid. And I think it really shaped the way that he sings, because he sounds tremendously like Paul, even without trying to. He just naturally gravitated that way.
So there's a picture of Phil right here, Paul right there.
Oh, cool.
So that links Russ to Paul in 2 degrees. And then obviously he knows the rest of the Beatles. So that's John, Ringo, George in 3 degrees. Now I guess you can throw Stevie Wonder in there, since Paul did that duet Ebony and Ivory. So we've got them connected, so we can get from Russ to Stevie Wonder in what, 4 degrees?
3
or 3? That's not bad. So,
and then I can't even begin to get into the depth of who Stevie Wonder has connected with. But that, of course, then, 4 degrees with all of them.
Right.
We have a suggestion on YouTube. Brian Adams. Worship with Me suggested Brian Adams.
Do what now? Let's see.
Brian Adams.
Is that this? Yeah, okay. Brian Adams. That's going to be a challenge. Let me think for a minute. I am a Brian Adams fan. Trying to think, who do we know?
Oh, Joy. Worship with Me is Joy from the Friends page. Hi, Joy.
I'm going to have to get a little help here from a little website called This Guys.
No, Theo,
is that cheating?
You got to do it all from memory. Come on now. No, I'm just kidding.
I can't.
I think if you could do it all from memory, then you might have some sort of obsessive issue. We might need to get you some counseling.
Yeah. I agree.
Yeah, I mean, there are, like I said, I'm a huge Bryan Adams fan. I love Waking Up the Neighbors. I love, Reckless. Those are probably my favorite two Bryan Adams albums. So I'm going to pull up. There's Reckless right there. Whoops. Come on,
I just
computer,
wanted to mention we have
loading up
6
slow
people in
like.
the chat room. So if you're in the chat room watching, I'll say hi to us because I can see the feed. I got my phone, so I can see the feed and I can talk to you guys.
All right, let's see if we got any. Track list. I don't really see any credits on Reckless. So that obviously we're going to have to go to look at the. Okay, let's see. Oh, wait a minute. Here's some credits. If my computer will slow down, quit jumping around, show more. Let's see here. There's none that are jumping out to me from Cuts Like a Knife. How much did Bryan Adams use a regular band? I wonder if he ever used any session players.
I'm pretty sure he did, at least on a few of the albums.
So, Joy, do you know the answer to that question, how he's connected to Bryan Adams, or? I realize you have to type your answer. I'll be patient. Because I'm curious now.
Okay, well, let's see.
Oh, she says she doesn't know if he's connected either. That's okay. We'll figure it out.
Let's see. I'm looking at see if we can make a connection from Bob Clearmountain, who's a well-known studio guy. All right. Well, we may have to keep working on that. Wikipedia. Let's see if they give me any. Okay. Just made it. Just got the connection.
All right.
So we can go.
I knew you would.
Bryan Adams, produced by Bob Clearmountain, who also produced Paul McCartney's Tripping the Live Fantastic.
Ah.
Then to Phil. Then to Russ.
Woohoo!
Did I do that in 6?
You did. Nice. You're 0 for 1. Is that how you say that? Or is it 1 and 0?
No, he's 1 for 1. He's 1 for 1.
1 for 1. Okay. All right.
All right. Another way you can maybe connect Russ to Bryan. Well, it's mainly doing it through Bob Clearmountain. Clearmountain also produced Hall & Oates, their 1984 album Big Bam Boom. And from what I understand, now this isn't a direct connection, that in one of the episodes of Live at Daryl's House, as one of the decorations, you see, believe it or not, Russ's Walls of Glass album. Just hanging in the.
Oh, I think you shared a video of that or a picture of that or something
Did
at one
I?
time, didn't you?
I might have.
That was pretty awesome.
And yeah, so.
And speaking of Walls of Glass, I can connect Russ to Chick Corea, jazz great, in one move.
Oh, really?
Ernie Watts
What?
played on Walls of Glass, who is a great, great jazz player. He has also recorded with Chick Corea.
All right. Well, now that we talk about it in practice, when I was kind of running through things in my head, I connected Russ to jazz great John Coltrane.
Nice.
I'm sorry, John Coltrane?
Take me there.
All right.
Take me there.
So let's start with Coltrane, who had a protege friend by the name, and you're going to get right away, Dave's going to get this, Wayne Shorter.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Wayne Shorter would go on to kind of take Coltrane's place in the Miles Davis group. Well, when Dave and I saw Wayne Shorter in, what was it, 2003, somewhere around there?
Somewhere around there.
They were touring. Wayne Shorter was touring on his Footsteps. I believe, wasn't it called Footsteps?
Yes. Footprints.
He was touring on an album called Footsteps.
It was Footprints, I think. Footprints.
Footprints?
I think so.
All right. On that tour, his bass player was a fellow by the name of John Patitucci.
Johnny. God, I love him. He's amazing.
Patitucci, not only being a jazz great, is also a devout Christian. And I've seen him play on YouTube to none other than Phil Keggy. And of course, then to Russ. So, what was that?
I think Phil Keggy and
John,
Larry Hall come up a lot.
Wayne Shorter, Coltrane. Do what now?
Nice.
I said, I think Phil Keggy and Larry Hall are going to come up a lot tonight, aren't they?
Probably. Yeah.
Yep.
Let's see.
Because I could like suggest somebody easy like Ronnie Millsap, but that's way too easy.
Ernie, this also ties Russ to Johnny Carson. Ernie played in the Tonight Show band.
That's
Bobby!
right.
Hi, Bobby!
When Marcellus led it for a brief amount, I think.
Wow. So we want to give a shout out to Bobby Malpin for joining us tonight.
Yay! Hi, Bobby.
All right, so we got we've connected him. Several people here now. Let's see.
Oh, he says no. Bobby says no.
With Doc Severn?
He says
no to what?
I think he was saying that when you said Marsalis, he says he's thinking Doc Severn.
It might have been sitting in with Doc Severinson. I thought it was during the brief period that Branford was running things, but maybe not.
Oh, now he says yes. And by the way, guys, there's a delay on the YouTube channel. I mean, there's like maybe an 8-second delay on the YouTube channel. So.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That's in case our language gets a little salty. They can, bleep us.
Right. Yeah.
It's standard clause, really.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So now he says yes, it was. So he's agreeing now.
As much as I've tried to keep it clean on this channel, I accidentally said the most vulgar thing on here.
Oh my!
Yeah, but I edited
No.
it so that
Deal.
nobody else would have to listen to it. But if you go back and watch my the Mandy and me live stream from last December when we were doing a Christmas story, I accidentally said something vulgar that someone put in the comments without realizing what it meant, and kind of broke up the live stream there for a few minutes. Which I thought was great considering, well, not great, but it was funny considering how much trouble the kid got in for saying vulgar things in the movie. So how appropriate.
What's wrong with fudge?
Oh, James Charles. That I may have to throw to Dave, because I don't even know who James Charles is.
I don't know who James Charles is either.
Do you know James Charles?
I'm leaning toward the jazz guy, but I don't think that's who you're thinking of.
Let's wiki him up.
And he's not a very well-known jazz guy. So that's probably someone else.
James
But
Charles.
you know, once we've linked Russ with Ernie Watts and Chick Corea, the whole jazz world gets connected really, really fast. I mean, people like Stanley Clark. I think Chick also played with Miles Davis for a little bit. Gosh, how many more? Michael Brecker.
You know what? I just looked up James Charles, and I don't think that's who he means. I don't know who this guy is.
Ray Charles.
Oh, Ray Charles.
Well,
totally different guy.
Okay, that helps.
It's Charles to his good friends.
Ray Charles. Okay, did I do him in the practice rounds? I don't think I did. Let's think about Ray for a minute.
I think we may end up looking in the jazz world for who played with Ray, especially in the early days.
Yeah. Let me think. So, Ray Charles. Well, yeah, we're going to have to look at some, probably going to have to look at some, wait a minute. I think I can maybe do it faster by doing it this way. Or maybe not. I thought I was looking at his duets album thinking maybe he did a duet with somebody that I could easily connect.
What about
go ahead.
What about, say, Paul Simon or Billy Joel? Did he ever record with either of them?
I'm not seeing it here, but I am seeing one that might be a connection. Okay, so let's try Russ. Did Willie Nelson ever perform on Hee Haw?
Not that I'm aware of.
That'd be weird if he didn't, though, wouldn't it?
They were a little more straightforward country, not quite the rebel country that he was back in the 70s.
Okay, I think I got it. I think I got it, and I can do it without looking it up too much. All right, we go Russ, Glenn Campbell. Glenn Campbell, I'm pretty sure, performed on the Johnny Cash show.
I believe
Johnny
you're right.
Cash to Willie Nelson, Willie Nelson to Ray Charles. Going the country route.
That works.
Willie Nelson did perform on Hee Haw. So my other idea,
Did he?
and it
Yeah.
might
All right.
it might be an even closer connection, would have been to go Russ Taff, Lulu Roman Smith, Willie Nelson, Ray Charles. So I don't know. That's just a guess. I don't know how if Lulu Roman Smith and Willie Nelson ever did anything, ever met. I'm assuming she was a regular on Hee Haw.
Yes, he was. Absolutely.
And Willie Nelson did appear on Hee Haw in 1985. It says episode 16.20. I don't know what that means. Season 16, episode 20, maybe? I don't know.
Yes.
1985, it says. So yeah, he was on Hee Haw.
So that's a possible connection. I kind of Googled Lulu Roman Smith and Willie Nelson. I'm not seeing any pictures of them together. So that could be a little bit of a stretch. But
Joy says, impressive, 4 degrees by way of Hee Haw. That's pretty cool.
But there's Johnny and Glenn, so I can make that connection.
Mm-hmm.
That means we only have 2 degrees between Russ and Johnny, or 1 degree, and that's Glenn.
Mm-hmm.
Well, we're glad that you've joined us. If you can follow us, great. If not, this is going to be on my channel. You can come back and watch the entirety of the stream later. So, yeah. And that pretty much gets a pretty close connection to all of the Highwaymen. So when you look at Russ's country connections, all right, so he's got Glenn Campbell and Lulu Roman Smith, who he's done duets with. Also, well, we can go ahead and connect him absolutely directly to the Oak Ridge Boys, because he just did a duet with William Lee Golden on Gaither's Circuit Rider.
Well, my suggestion, my challenge is going to be easy then, since you already said Oak Ridge Boys.
Okay.
My suggestion was going to be Tim Faust from Home Free. But
Tim Faust from Home Free.
yeah, he's a solo artist too. And so I thought, but that one's pretty easy.
So I'm taking it he knows the Oak Ridge Boys.
Does he? I don't know.
Let's see here. What's he got going?
Can I just say, you guys, both of you guys, you look very handsome today. I'm looking at both of you and I'm thinking how handsome both of you are.
Shucks.
Yeah, I just wanted to say that, just to say.
Well, the check's in the
Both of
mail.
you.
Low lighting does wonders.
I tell yeah. Let's see. There's not a whole lot of information on him. Tim Faust. I'm guessing this is not him on Wikipedia because it's a Minnesota politician.
No, that's not him. Home Free is a cappella group.
Home Free.
Yeah.
Let's look them up, see what they got going. Singing group. Have I heard of them?
Oh, gosh. I hope you have.
The name is familiar to me, but I can't place him.
Okay, what do we know about Home Free? Home Free is an American country a cappella group of 5 vocalists: Austin Brown, Rob Lundquist, Adam Rupp, Tim Faust, and Adam Chance. Starting as a show group, they toured around 200 shows a year across the USA. The group competed in and won the 4th season of the Sing Off on NBC. What is the Sing Off?
Oh my gosh, you guys.
No idea. If that's
like,
one of those competition shows, I'm unfamiliar. I've never seen one of them, and I have no intention to start now.
Well, Home Free has been around for a while, and they're popular. I thought they were popular. I mean, they're really good, and I don't usually like a cappella. As a matter of fact, that a cappella from Gaither Vocal Band is probably my least favorite album to listen to.
Oh,
but they're really good.
So that could be trouble because if they're an a cappella group, there's probably not a lot of studio musicians to connect there.
Well, and they're connected by William Lee Golden because they sang, they did Elvira they did a cover of Elvira with the Oak Ridge Boys, and of course, Russ and William Lee Golden worked together, sang together. Yeah.
There you go.
Yep.
So Home
I recommend you guys checking out Home Free. They're all over YouTube. They're really good.
We'll have to do that.
Yeah.
Well, to circle back around to the jazz world, because that's where I live, I can connect Russ to jazz great Shirley Horn in 3 Degrees. We've already established Ernie Watts, who also played with Toots Thielemans, great harmonica player, who has also played with Shirley Horn.
Oh, okay. We've also got, let's see here. Bobby's got another connection with Hall & Oates. Speaking of Russ' connection with Daryl Hall, my longtime friend who just passed away this week, Scat Springs, daughter Candace Springs appeared on Daryl's house.
Ah, nice.
And Aretha, what are you doing? What happened to Dave?
Oh, she wants to say hi.
She's wanting to make a mess of things
Did
up
we
on my
lose,
top
did
of my
we
desk.
Lose Dave? Did we lose Dave?
I'm not sure what happened with Dave. He disappeared about the time Aretha distracted me. Aretha, what did you do with Dave? He'll jump back in here in a minute. I hope. No. Cats and kids, they say never work with them.
Bobby is suggesting connecting Russ to Jimmy Buffett and Paul Simon. Didn't we talk about Paul Simon before?
Yeah, Dave mentioned, here he comes back.
Did I offend? I got kicked out.
I don't know. I don't know what happened.
Jazz anymore, do you?
I
What?
have no idea how you disappeared.
Oh,
I blame Krystal. I mentioned jazz, and she's not a jazz fan, so she probably threw me out.
I
That's
blame
probably what it
Aretha because she
I
was
wouldn't do
messing with
that.
something and you disappeared. So,
Oh, Rita.
all right. So we're working on, we got to work now on Jimmy Buffett and Paul Simon. And that could be interesting. Jimmy Buffett. Jimmy Buffett. Let's see here.
Well,
Oh.
now I can get him to Paul Simon. Again,
Can you?
we're going back to Toots Thielemans, who has played with Paul Simon.
Okay. So what are we saying? Russ to Watts?
Russ to
Toots?
Watts to Toots to Paul.
Okay.
Toots is
looking at
turning
some
out
of-
to be invaluable in this.
Looking at well, we can do associated acts for on Wikipedia, the associated acts for Jimmy Buffett. One of them was John Hyatt. So if I don't know, let's see, let's Google. I don't know what the connection there is between John Hyatt and Jimmy Buffett. But we can let's see. Here's a question on Buffett news. What is with JB's fascination with John Hyatt? Oh, he's got
Bobby is saying that the Russ connection between these two are the same.
okay. Well, I was thinking, all right, just looking at the Wikipedia page, if Hyatt is connected to Buffett, then it's two degrees. It's Russ to Hyatt to Buffett because Russ probably through his connection with Ashley Cleveland, because I know I've watched, I can't remember what late night show, but I've seen Russ and Ashley singing backup for John Hyatt on either The Tonight Show or Late Night with Letterman or something of that nature. I've seen that video. So Russ has sang backup for Hyatt. And so if he's connected to Buffett, then it's just 2 degrees. Now, how is the same? Now, this is what I don't understand from Bobby is it's the same connection. Unless he's thinking about somebody that. Okay, so he saw, I'm guessing Bobby's saying that he saw the video, same video that I did. Paul Simon. So I wonder if he's thinking has Ashley worked with Paul Simon?
I don't know. She has sung with so many people.
Bobby says yes, you got it.
I got it.
Yep. That was a good one, Bobby. Thanks.
Oh, well, no, I missed it. However, that is not the same connection I'm speaking of.
Oh?
Well, Bobby, you might just have to enlighten us on that connection. We're not hitting that one for some reason. Can't think of who Paul Simon. Let's look at some of his associated act. Oh, there's not much there. Ladysmith, Black Mambazo. But we're not getting real deep into the session players either. Oh, the Oak Ridge Boys. So the Oak Ridge Boys, we can connect them to Paul Simon? Let's. Both sang back up for Paul and Jimmy. Okay, well, I didn't know that. That's.
Okay.
Well, that's cool.
Yeah, that's cool. I didn't know that.
Well,
okay,
right.
I'll go deeper than country. I'll go all the way to bluegrass. I can connect Russ to Bill Monroe. Any guess how?
Wait a minute. Give me a second. The Whites?
No, I mean possible, but not the connection I'm thinking of.
Okay. Well, then I don't know.
On his country album, one of the players on that was Randy Scruggs, who was the son of Earl Scruggs, who played with Bill Monroe.
Oh.
Okay. I was just thinking earlier that to try to keep in mind all of the connections from the Grand Ole Opry.
Oh yeah,
that's why I thought of the Whites, because I can't remember which one. I do remember one of them grabbing Russ as he tried to run off the stage, and he was there to promote the documentary. But as soon as he got through singing, he tries to exit stage left as quickly as he can. Because we all know that Russ isn't really an extrovert.
No.
So this lady hooked him by the arm and drug him back out there, and made him talk about the documentary because it hadn't released yet.
Oh my goodness.
So, all right, I am going to pull one out of my hat. I'm going to connect. Might be a loose connection, but I'm going to connect Russ and Snoop Dogg.
Snoop Dogg.
Snoop Dogg.
I just watched him on Monk just before I signed in. I'm like, wow, oh my gosh. Okay, go ahead.
All right. So we go from Snoop Dogg to the Clark sisters. The Clark sisters, believe it or not, Snoop started a gospel label. One of his featured artists was the Clark sisters. The Clark sisters have sung on a gospel award show with none other than Shirley Caesar. Shirley Caesar covered "We Will Stand." Now, does Russ know Shirley personally? I don't know. But she covered one of his songs. Does that count?
I think that counts. Since that's his most well-known song.
Was she possibly also part of that giant chorus that was with the Cause? I can't remember. I mean, there was like 30 musicians singing in that.
Yeah, I mean, it's possible. I think.
And I'm not sure if I'm thinking of her or someone in that similar vein that was also in that group.
See if we got the. What was the name of the song they sang?
I can't think of it now. Off the top of my head.
Let's see. It was for hunger relief, right?
Yeah.
Okay. I think I found it. Or maybe not. I don't think that's the right one. Could be. Let's do something else. Let's try.
Do something now. Was that the
That's
name of
it.
the song?
That's it.
Do
That's the
something
one.
now.
Yep. That was it. But was she on that one? I can't remember.
Let's see. All right. Well, we can. I got a list of the artists here. We got the choir. Was Sandy Patty, Jesse Dixon, Angie Lewis, Kim Perry, Jeff Moore. Let's hit the ones I know. Dana Key, Eddie DeGarmo, DMB Band. Billy Crockett, Chris Christian, Gary Chapman, Rob Frazier, Larry Bryant, Second Chapter of Acts, Matthew Ward.
Shirley Caesar was on there. We're asking about Shirley Caesar.
Yeah, you saw her?
Yeah, she was one of the artists on the cause. Do something now.
Okay, that's what I thought. I just couldn't confirm it in my head.
Yep.
All right, so I did it.
You did it. Whoa.
You did it. I think we did it.
Okay, we did it. We did it. I even forgot about this song until you guys just mentioned. I mean, I can't remember the last time I listened to it, so I'm gonna go find it when we're done and listen to it.
With special thanks to Phil Madeira, Kim Boyce, Marcia. Huh. Well, that's interesting. All right. Let's see.
Oh my gosh, Sue Dodge and Bill Gaither were a part of that too. I don't remember seeing Bill Gaither.
Oh yeah,
It's been so long.
It was a huge pile of people.
I'm looking. I mean, this whole list. I don't know if you can see, but this whole list that's all the artists are on the. And I'm just looking through it.
There was a ton of people on there.
Well, there were over a dozen that were just soloists, and then probably 24 or more that were part of the chorus. So yeah, huge amount right there.
Yeah, man. Yeah, there was a ton of people. Just about. Who wasn't there?
In 1985, I think that covered all of them.
Maybe Petra. I don't see Petra.
Oh, I didn't see Petra listed either.
But I've often yeah, so that sometimes, except for the ones that I know that Russ sang duets with, sometimes I've wondered what other CCM artists of that period he has actually met. And I felt like it was a good number of them because not only for this project, but also the Praise and Worship album that they did, the big, trying to remember what the name of it was, but there just were a number of projects where it seemed like they did comps, and I don't know that you could Photoshop back then some of the way you Photoshop now. So they almost would have had to have been in the same room.
Mm-hmm.
I think. I don't know. But I know on, was it the Praising Us? Where Russ kicked it off with that great, awesome song, Simple Song for a Mighty God. And there was a bunch of folks on that as well. Kind of looking through this and thinking about some of the other connections. It seemed like there were some other folks I wanted to connect him to. I should have wrote down some of the ones that I'd been kind of working on.
Well, from the Winds of Change album, we can connect him. Jerry Douglas played on that album, which then immediately connects him to Alison Krauss and Peter Rowan, because he's played in both of their bands, and like 17,000 other people he's played with. That then connects Russ to Tim O'Brien and Sam Bush. And, here's one, John Denver. Connected him to John Denver.
Nice.
So how many degrees is that?
Well, let's see. Russ to Jerry Douglas to John Denver.
4.
3.
Oh, so what did you say Russ played on with Jerry?
That was the Winds of Change album.
Oh, okay. I didn't know Jerry was on that.
Yeah, and I can connect them personally because John Denver performed at the opening of the Owensboro Arts Center, and Jerry Douglas was in his band. And I was there working the show. I hung out with John Denver for a week. And that had Jerry Douglas and Sam Bush, and I can't remember who all was. It was like the all-star of bluegrass players for that time.
You were telling me about that at Bell Buckle Weekend, weren't you?
Yeah, 3 degrees to John Denver.
Wow.
I'm going to make, since we're doing these connections, I just want to double check something. All right. I'm going to connect Russ to Michael Jackson, 2 degrees.
No way.
Well, actually, there's just one in between the two. Jeff Porcaro. Porcaro played on both Walls of Glass and Thriller.
Yes.
Oh, wow.
And frankly, Walls of Glass was a better album.
Yeah.
Disagree with me if you want, but that's where I stand.
I'm not going to disagree with you.
So yeah. There's
nice.
And that means that Russ is directly connected to Toto.
The band, not the dog, right?
Huh?
The band, not the dog.
Yeah, I'm not going to try the dog.
Hey, real quick, Leo, you were talking about the Praising Us earlier.
Uh-huh.
And you were right. He did kick off the album with the song called Simple Song for a Mighty God. So you were right.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
I just wanted to confirm that.
I had the songbook on that. I did that song in college. I love that song.
Oh, okay.
I wish they would. Unfortunately, there's no it's not on any kind of digital or CD format. They never made a CD of it. In order to have an MP3 of it, you would have to have, and I've got the album, and I'd have to hook up my my turntable to my computer and make it MP3 because to the best of my knowledge, unless they repackaged it for another project that I'm unaware of, and they do that. I know there's a Sparrow Christmas album that they take tracks from and put it on all kinds of other Christmas compilations. Unless they've done that, you can't get Simple Song for a Mighty God in a digital format.
Yeah, this site I'm on says it's only available on vinyl, or they only have it available on vinyl.
But we were talking about connections. I mean, Walls of Glass alone gives him so many connections because he had huge session players playing on this, like Nathan East, Michael Landau. I'm pretty sure. Didn't I see? I thought Abe played on this. Abraham Laboriel.
I'd wondered if
Maybe
we would be
not.
able to connect him.
Well, and here's Reba singing backup on Unto the Lamb. Rambo. Abraham Laboriel bass on We Will Stand.
Ah.
So
Well, we've just connected him to like 5,000 other people then. And that's a conservative estimate for how many Abe has played with over the years.
Okay, Bobby's got something new for us down here. Come to think of it, I doubt you'll make the connection because it's sort of obscure. It's a Russ connection with Prince.
That I don't know.
Let me think for a minute. A Russ connection with Prince. Trying to think. Prince usually used his own kind of musicians, guys that he knew. Prince. So the only thing I can think of is, did Prince do a who is he duetted with? Well, that may have been throwing us a real curveball. Because I really don't think that would be a studio musician. I don't think. Huh. Okay. I can get a. I think I let's see if I can connect Russ to one Christian artist. I can make that connection. Probably not the way Bobby's thinking, but I think I can get. Let's see. Well, I know I can make the connection to Prince. I'm not sure if I can do it in 6 degrees unless I can. The one I'm looking for is does Russ know Krystal Lewis? And how quickly can I connect him to her? Let's see here. Oh, yeah. All right. Well, okay. Here we go. No, wait a minute. Okay. No, that's not a connection right there. Come on, Krystal. Don't be so difficult.
I'm trying. Oh, are you talking to
I'm
me?
talking about Krystal Lewis.
Oh, sorry.
Krystal's being the other Krystal.
Okay, all right.
If I can connect Russ,
She probably spells her name with a C anyway, doesn't she?
She does.
That's okay.
I just need some. I just need a connection between those two. Then it's easy.
I keep coming up with a guy named Barry Blair. Does it have anything to do with him?
Okay, what does he say here? It's very obscure because in this case, I am the connector to the same connection as the one I mentioned earlier. Lordy, that confuses even me. Well, yeah, you're stumping us. Let's see.
Oh, James Holohan popped up for me. Let me see if that's... Did James Holohan ever work with Prince? Am I saying his name right? Holohan or it's not Houlihan.
Holohan's right.
Holohan.
I don't.
Yeah.
Okay, I may have the Russ Krystal connection. All right, they were both on the all right, so Russ and Krystal were both on the Child of the Promise project. Now, does that mean they knew each other? Well, yeah, because Russ was Gabriel, Krystal was Mary. They were on a track together. Gabriel and Mary, whatever that word is, recitative. All right, so we've got Russ and Krystal on the same track. From Krystal, we go to Mary J. Blige because on the Kirk Franklin track, Kirk Franklin did a track, Stand By Me. His guest vocalist on that track was Krystal Lewis, Mary J. Blige, Bono, and somebody else. Yeah, I don't remember. Anyway, so that connects Krystal to Mary J. Blige. Mary J. Blige has sung with Prince.
Wow.
I just needed to connect Russ and Krystal. I didn't know. But there's a project right there where they were on the same track. So I'm going to count that. Now, I'm pretty sure. Okay, what's he saying? Russ, me, Scat Springs, Candace Springs, Prince. I need to learn more about the Scat Springs. I did hear about his passing this week.
Yep.
Yeah, so did I, but I wasn't aware of him either. So that's
and I've
the
heard the
second
name
time
Candace
has come up.
Springs, and it seems like
Yeah.
I've even listened to a track by her, but I can't remember right off the top of my head. So I'm trying to think, are there any other who are some of the other big artists that we either have or have not done? Bruce Springsteen comes to mind. And I would think, so what I would need to know is, did Russ ever play Tommy Sims?
Very possible.
Because that's where I would go first. Because Tommy Sims played with Bruce. Let's see, Russ Taff, Tommy Sims. They were on a project together. I don't know. Looks like the Our Hymns project. Well, they didn't play on the same track, it doesn't look like, because Jackie Streets played bass on Near the Cross. I'm not seeing where Tommy played. It's hard to believe that Tommy, as much as he was in Whiteheart, that he didn't cross paths with Russ at some point, but I'd have to work on that one a little more. But let's talk about another connection. While we're connecting Russ to big time acts, how about Led Zeppelin? We can do that pretty quick too. Oh yeah, we can do that real quick.
Okay.
Russ to Julie Miller, who they duetted with. Her husband, Buddy, was the band leader for Robert Plant on his Band of Joy album. Robert Plant to the rest of Led Zeppelin.
And we also make a connection through Jerry Douglas to Alison Krauss to Robert Plant.
Yep. So we can get the Led Zeppelin a couple ways.
All streets lead to the Zeppelin.
Let's see here. Bobby's saying Scott was a few years younger than me, but we went to the same high school and I was his counselor.
Wow.
In camp 50 years ago. So that's seemed like there were some other folks. Who else did I connect them to? There were some other folks that I was thinking about. Well, and then of course, how many different ways can we connect Russ and Emmylou Harris? There's Russ, Julie, Emmylou. There's Russ, Phil, Madeira, Emmylou.
Yep.
It's a wonder they haven't done a duet at some point. Then I was trying to think. Could we connect? How close could I connect Russ to the Blues Brothers? I haven't worked that one out in my head yet. Blues Brothers were kind of a set group, and I don't know that they had a lot of big session players.
Well, Duck Dunn
and
a few others.
Wonder who he's played with over the years.
Did we connect him to Ray Charles? Because that would do it.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, that
go.
would do it, wouldn't it?
We're there.
I'd forgotten. Ray Charles was in that movie. Is that my neighbors? I think my neighbors are herding cattle.
So I've been looking. My next suggestion is Faith Hill.
Faith Hill?
But yeah, I haven't been able to find the connection, so maybe you can. Wait a minute. I think he sang backup for Faith Hill, didn't he? I think he was background vocals for Faith on a couple of songs, wasn't he?
Who? Russ? I don't think so, but I've got an idea on Faith. Let's see.
Yeah. I'm just trying to think of like artists that everybody would know. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Okay. Let's see.
Better Together.
Okay, so with Faith Hill. All right, yeah. So we got a good connection here. Well, wow, and this will hit a lot. So with Faith Hill, we can go Faith Hill to Dan Huff, who has produced and played for her. From Dan Huff, we go to Larry Hall. Larry
there you go.
played in Giant with Dan Huff. And then Larry Hall to Russ.
I got you in there, Larry. You're welcome.
Now, I don't know if Russ and Dan ever cross paths. It seems like that would be possible. But we know Larry and Dan have. And that connection right there can get you to Faith Hill. It can get you to I'm looking at all the people that he's produced. I knew he had produced Carrie Underwood. Well, this is just listing of collaborations. But I mean, Huff's a brilliant guitarist, so he gets a lot of session work for that.
Yeah.
And then he also is a producer. Well, now he's become a huge producer. So I'm looking at his list of collaborations, and it's incredible. Wow. Yeah. So, yeah, there we get the Faith Hill and Carrie Underwood and a bunch of others.
And I can get us from there also to Kenny Rogers.
Okay.
Because bringing up the Giant connection, Mike Brignordello played on one of the Giant albums. He also played on Russ's country album. He has also played for Kenny Rogers on one of his albums.
Oh, all right.
Cool.
Yeah, Mike Brignordello is a big session player.
Oh yeah, great bass player.
All right, Bobby, it's good to have you here. And thank you
Bobby's
for
leaving.
shooting us a few.
Bye, Bobby.
For shooting us a few.
Yeah, you had some good ones.
Connections there. I'm looking at the at Dan Huff's Wikipedia page. I'm seeing some other connections. It looks like he contributed somehow to Kenny Rogers for the album I Prefer the Moonlight. And it looks like I think he played on it. Well, yeah, there are a lot of connections going on here. Oh, wow. I didn't know all these people played on I Prefer the Moonlight. You were talking about Brignordello. He's on here.
He's everywhere.
Just some of the people who played on I Prefer the Moonlight. Mark O'Connor, Jerry McPherson, Dan Huff, Gary Chapman, Alan Pasqua. These are some of the people I recognize. Keith Thomas, Shane Keister, Chris Harris, Wayne Kirkpatrick, Tommy Funderburk. Man, he had some killer musicians on that album.
No kidding. Talk about your all-star lineup.
Kenny wasn't playing around on that album. Wow. He that's a heck of a lineup there. And of course, the title track I Prefer the Moonlight was written by Gary Chapman. Yeah.
How about Glenn Campbell?
Well, that would be direct because Russ sang, I believe, on a song called The Greatest Gift of All.
You're right. That's good. Good one. That wasn't much of a challenge.
Yeah, I think that was Glenn. I think that was a Christmas album for Glenn.
It was, Jesus, the Jesus and Me, the collection. Wait a minute. Was it a Christmas album?
I believe so. I believe I have it on CD somewhere. Well, it would probably be in my Glenn Campbell. It would actually be in my Christmas section.
I'm showing it's on a record called Show Me the Way. Show Me Your Way.
Okay. And that could be too.
The Greatest Gift of All. Yep. That's what I'm showing.
Well,
but, you know, Google isn't always right.
While we're here, let's look at some medals credits.
Sure.
And see who else he's played with that I'm not thinking about. Well, Nathaniel East played a lot of bass on here. Oh, well, here's the connection to Dan Huff. Dan played guitar on a lot of these tracks. Vision, I'm Not Alone, Metals, Silent Love. So we've got a direct connection to Dan Huff now. So you could go Russ, Dan Huff, Carrie Underwood, or Faith Hill, or whoever. I did not. I'm embarrassed. I didn't realize that Dan had played so much guitar on Metals. Now here's a question. It's also listing Paul Jackson Jr. Is that the same Paul Jackson from Bloodgood?
Don't know.
That would be an incredible connection to Bloodgood, if it is. Because as good as we can make these connections, well, where did he go? That's weird. He just disappeared again. There he is.
What's the deal?
I don't know. I keep thinking that
I'm starting to take this personally.
I keep thinking I hope the rapture didn't just happen.
Well, then there'd just be a blank spot where I used to be.
Dale.
You just see an empty chair.
Oh, that's true. He would just see an empty chair, wouldn't he? But of course, I was still here, so that was mean.
Well, I am too.
That's true.
Well, obviously, you didn't participate in rapture practice back in the day.
Oh.
A fun college activity.
Right.
Well, looking at those credits, I think the big one there is, well, Michael Landau played on this one again. But yeah, I think Dan Huff is the big connection here, because I just didn't realize they had played together, and man, Dan's all over Metals, and I didn't know it. I guess it's been a while since I've looked at the credits on Metals. And
well, in the CCM world in the 80s, what didn't Dan play on? Seemed like he was everywhere.
That's true too.
I'm sorry. I think I missed something. Were you talking about Paul Jackson before, or who are you talking about? So what did I miss?
Well, all right. So Paul Jackson Jr. played a lot on Metals with guitar as well as Dan Huff.
Oh, okay.
And I was wondering if it was the same Paul Jackson that replaced David Safaro in Bloodgood.
Oh.
And I just don't know, and I'm not real sure how we would check that. Well, Dan Huff played on the self-titled Russ album too. So,
because I'm looking at Paul Jackson's credits right now, so I mean that's why.
So we got Alan Pasqua and Mike Brignardello on this album as well. Also Dave Perkins. And of course, James Holohan. Yeah, like I said, it's been a while since I had looked at those credits.
Holy cow, this guy has a lot of credits. A lot.
Who's
That's
that? Paul Jackson Jr.?
Paul Jackson Jr., yeah. I mean, it just keeps going. His list just keeps going and going and going.
I'm thinking it's probably not the same Paul Jackson in Bloodgood.
Yeah, it is. Medals, Russ Taff, guitar, 1985. Yep, right there. Paul Jackson Jr.
Oh, you know what? I think I've heard one of his smooth jazz albums. And man, he's played. You're right. He's played with a lot of people.
Ernie Watts, Maureen Steele, Michael McDonald, Ray Parker Jr., David Diggs, Kenny Rogers, The Temptations, Amy Grant. Yeah, his list just keeps going and going and going. I don't see the self-titled. I don't see Russ Taff, though. The self-titled. Well, remind me what year the self-titled came out.
It came out 87.
1987. All right.
Pretty sure. Yeah, 87. All right, so with Paul Jackson Jr., we get we almost get direct connections to like Russ, Paul Jackson Jr., Aretha Franklin.
Michael Jackson, yeah, Donna Summer. Wow.
You know, one thing I am a little surprised about that we have not brought up the name of Bill Gaither tonight.
Oh, I thought he was a given, though.
Well, I'm just saying that I guess we haven't delved too much in Southern gospel.
Well, the Pointer Sisters. Wow. Oh, I'm going to stop looking at his list because I keep seeing it.
Lionel Richie.
Wow.
Yeah.
That guy's all over the place. Good old Bill.
Oh, Donald Byrd. Jazz guy.
Nice.
I might have to try to pick this album up. Thank you for funking up my life.
Is that why the 8-second delay exists?
Perhaps.
Perhaps.
There's quite a lineup on that album. Donald Byrd on trumpet, Greg Philaganes, Paul Jackson Jr.
I'm going to go brew myself a cup of coffee. I'll be right back, guys.
All right. I guess we really haven't touched too much on just some of his duets. Because there's a lot of CCM connections there. We know he's duetted with Amy Grant, Sandy Patty.
Yep.
Leslie
Lulu,
Phillips.
we always talked about.
Yeah, Leslie Phillips. Now Sam Phillips. Greg and Rebecca Sparks. There you go. The Totally Tubular Coffee Extra Gnarly Blend.
Nice.
That picture cracks me up. And Tori doesn't change. She never changes. She's so pretty.
Oh, and then we've another duet that we have not talked that gives him a lot of connections was the trio from Eddie DeGarmo's Phase 2 album with Eddie, Russ, Mark Farner of Grand Funk Railroad.
Yeah.
All singing something about that name, and I know Bill Gaither was playing piano in the video. Yeah, that's a lot of music right there. Then of course, I don't know if it was a full-fledged duet. It was backing vocals, at least from Julie Miller on that Hymns album. And then of course he did a duet with Leigh Nash on that Fanny Crosby tribute album. He, and of course, we already talked about singing with William Lee Golden on Circuit Rider.
I don't know, but I thoroughly enjoy Circuit Rider. That song he did with William Lee Golden.
Yeah, the video was well done too.
Yeah. I guess that's what I'm talking about. I enjoy that video.
I'm trying to think of any other duets. Oh, well, the trio from Phil Keaggy and Sunday's Child, Phil Keaggy, Russ, and Randy Stonehill.
I'm sorry, guys.
Seems like there was another song called Back When We Were Young.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Was that on a Randy Stonehill album?
I think so.
And Russ was on it. I think there was quite a few guys on that one.
Yeah, that was another, that was kind of a chorus of well-knowns.
Wasn't Larry on that? Larry Norman?
Uh-huh. He was indeed.
So there's a direct connection between Russ and Larry.
We were also young.
We were also young. Is that the name of it?
We were also young. Yeah. Was that it?
Yeah, that sounds right.
Yeah, Larry Norman, Phil Keaggy, Russ Taff, Barry McGuire, Noel Paul Stuckey.
Oh yeah, from Peter, Paul, and Mary.
Oh, okay.
Oh wow! So we can directly connect him to Peter, Paul, and Mary.
Yep.
That's cool.
I love Russ Taff so much. Oh my gosh. Everybody's gonna forget
I got a
about
couple
Kevin
more
Bacon.
connections. I can connect Russ to Tyler Perry and Kirk Franklin with the same people, and that's David and Tamala Mann.
Yeah.
I don't think they've ever officially worked on anything, but of course I always take Russ a little something when I go down there, and I took him a DVD of the Tyler Perry play What's Done in the Dark, and because that's where I discovered Tamala Mann, because she sings right in about the middle of that play. She sings Step Aside, and set the hair on the back of my neck standing straight up. So I wanted Russ to hear her. And when I gave him the DVD, he had already met him. He had worked a cruise with him. And when I was talking, I was talking to him about them, he was like, yeah. And then he launched into an imitation of her husband, David Mann, who plays Mr. Brown, doing the "My Granddaddy" skit. And Russ nailed it a lot better than I did just then. So I knew he knew him. He had gotten a kick out of that skit. So that would be one of my dream duets for him in the future, would be to sing with Tamla on something.
Mm-hmm.
And then so that connects him both to Tyler Perry, because the Manns have been in their movies and musicals for years. And then Tamla and David Mann actually met when they were working, when they were singing in Kirk Franklin and the Family.
Ah, okay.
And I think, because I've heard David tell a story of how Tamla came into audition. I guess he and Kirk, he already knew Kirk was in the group, and Tamla came into audition and blew him away. And so there's that connection. But yeah. So we've covered quite a few artists tonight.
Yeah, I'm still trying to make the connection to Toto, the dog. I'm trying. It's possible. It really is. All I have to do is be able to tie someone from Russ to Judy Garland, who, of course, did a lot of jazz stuff.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking, well, Ernie Watts played with Charlie Hayden. He played with Oscar Peterson. Either of those, I'm not sure if either of them ever recorded with Judy, but I can guarantee they played with people that played with Judy. So it's there. I just haven't been able to really get it all there together.
Well, I was talking to Value Vinyl Steve, and he said if he had a request, he would like for us to connect Russ to Tiny Tim. I don't know that's going to happen, because Tiny Tim was more of a
pop freak
novelty
show
act. Yeah. And so he didn't really, as far as I know, he didn't really work with any studio musicians.
Not much.
You're not okay. So you're obviously not talking about Tiny Tim from A Christmas Carol.
No,
we're talking about Tiptoe Through the Tulips.
Huh. I guess I'm not familiar.
Wow. He was a mainstay in the freak show from the 60s and 70s.
He sang that song Tiptoe Through the Tulips in a really high falsetto.
Got him very, very famous. He was very famously married on The Tonight Show.
Oh,
I didn't know that.
To a woman.
Well, guys, I was born in 1970, so that's probably why I'm not familiar.
Wait a minute, maybe there's our connection.
To Toto,
if we can connect Russ to Carson.
Well.
Oh yeah.
We made the connection to Doc Severinsen, and Tiny Tim was on The Tonight Show multiple times. I know he performed at least once. Now, did he perform with the Tonight Show band? Because that would be our connection.
But did he have to play with them or just meet them?
I would think play with them. I mean, I've met lots of people, but that doesn't mean I'm shared stage with them.
True.
I mean, I know he performed "Tiptoe Through the Tulips" more than once on there. I know he's performed some other things on Carson's show. I just can't remember if he had the band back him up or if it was just him and his ukulele. But that would do it.
Right. So we maybe have actually connected them quicker than we did with Toto.
Still working. Still working. But I can connect for you. I can connect Russ with Nora Jones.
Okay.
We go through, well, Ernie Watts to Charlie Hayden, who did an album with Nora on it. He did a tribute album to the Ladies of Jazz, and Nora was one of the ones that performed with him.
Oh, okay.
As well as Cassandra Wilson, Renee Fleming was also on there. I can't remember who else off the top of my head. If I can just find that small leap to get to Judy, we're there, and I'm so close.
Well, now one massive musician we have not mentioned so far tonight, Elvis Presley, and I would think that would be fairly easy.
Yeah.
Huh?
Wouldn't that connection be Bill Gaither?
I would think that connection would be Armin Morales.
Oh, Armin.
That would be. Because the Imperials were his backup band for a brief period.
And so that would just be 2 degrees.
He'd be also connected through Richard Sturban, because Richard Sturban did backup for Elvis for a while too, didn't he? From the Oak Ridge Boys?
Yeah. So there we've got just like 2 degrees between both Russ and Elvis and Russ and Paul McCartney.
Nice.
And wouldn't Paul Jackson Jr. make it just 2 degrees to Michael Jackson as well? So there you have 3 of the best-selling artists of all time. And I would think the Glenn Campbell connection would put Russ 2 degrees from the Beach Boys. Because Glenn Campbell, I believe, served as one of their guitarists early in his career. All right, so I just Googled Glenn Campbell Beach Boys, and it says, remember when Glenn Campbell was in the Beach Boys? So Campbell played guitar on Pet Sounds.
Yes, he did. That had slipped my mind.
Tell you another connection we can make, and it would be 3 degrees. I don't know if anybody can beat this, but we can get the Bob Dylan by going Russ, Glenn Campbell, Johnny Cash, Bob Dylan.
Mm-hmm.
With Cash having played on Nashville Skyline.
Yeah.
So that's not bad. I don't know if we can reduce that Bob Dylan connection any. That's still not bad. That's 2 people between Russ and Bob.
Mm-hmm.
I can't think of anybody that would cut that to 1. We haven't done much in the way of. Seemed like there was somebody else like I wanted to try to connect to that was in rock that was a little out there. Well, I don't know. Are you still working on Toto?
I am. I'm going to get there.
Wow.
There's got to be a connection. I just can't quite place it.
Did Judy Garland ever perform with Elvis Presley?
Not that I'm aware of.
Yeah, I didn't think so either. That was a long shot, I guess.
I tell you somebody. Oh, I know who I wanted to connect Russ to. Kevin Bacon. And I was actually...
He does play with the Bacon brothers.
Well, but actually, I was going to go a slightly different route. Let me... I think I almost had it worked out. I just needed a connector. Let me see something here. I got it. I just worked it out. Now I think. Got it. And here we go. Russ Taff. The Tommy Funderburk, who played on Metals, to backing vocals on Metals, to Rick Springfield. Funderburk sang back up on Success Hasn't Spoiled Me Yet. From Rick Springfield to Meryl Streep as they were in the, what was that movie called? Ricky and the Flash?
Oh, gosh, I don't remember that.
Yeah. Meryl Streep was playing this old rocker, and her boyfriend was Rick Springfield, and he was her guitarist in the movie. And then yeah, so from there, acting. Here we go. What was the name of that movie? I'm pretty sure it was Ricky and the Flash. And so from Meryl Streep to Kevin Bacon, The River Wild.
There you go.
Russ, Tommy Funderburk, Rick Springfield, Meryl Streep, Kevin Bacon. And how many big hitters did that knock down? Springfield, Streep, Bacon.
Yeah, you're right. It is called Ricky and the Flash. Just in case you wanted confirmation, it is called Ricky and the Flash. I'm not a very big Meryl Streep fan, so
just needed that connection to Springfield, and I felt like that it would be there. So I feel pretty good about having stolen that idea now. I can actually get them to Kevin Bacon too.
Oh, I loved it since the moment you mentioned it. That's such a good idea. Oh, somebody else joined us. I can't see who it is, but somebody else just popped in the chat room.
Trying to figure out what we're doing.
Hey, hi.
Hopefully it's somebody like Mr. Beast who can see we're streaming practically to no one right now. And will
I was hoping Russ or
money.
Tori would join us.
Huh?
But Russ is on the road right now, I think. I was hoping Russ or Tori would join us, but I think Russ is on his way home from Texas right now.
Oh, yeah, that's right. He played somewhere last night, didn't he?
Yeah, he did. Yep. In Texas. Was it Austin? Or Dallas? Maybe it was Dallas. Yeah. I didn't know he was going to be there. It wasn't on his schedule on his website, so I couldn't remind anybody about it. I didn't know he was doing it.
Well, now I got one for Dave. Can you connect them to Tony Bennett?
Perhaps. I'm trying to remember. I think Tony and Sammy Davis Jr. did a duet once. And if that's the case, I think I can get there. But it may be more than 6. Because, let's see. Let me see here. I can't quite put them all together. But I think it stems from the Charlie Hayden, Ernie Watts connection that would get me to Buddy Rich, who would get me to Sammy Davis, who would get me to Tony. I would have to confirm that, but I think that would get me there.
Okay.
And if I can connect Sammy with Judy Garland, we get to Toto.
Oh, yeah. Let's do that. Okay. Sammy Davis.
And you suspect that they did work together?
I'm pretty sure they did at one point. I don't know that they ever did an album, but I'm pretty sure at some point they sang together on a TV show or something, I'm remembering.
Judy Garland on the Sammy Davis Jr. show, March 5th.
There it is.
March 5th, 1966.
There it is.
Oh.
We got to Toto, that little dog.
All right, now, Now, just for the record, kind of work us through it so we can connect all the dots.
Wait, didn't I already get there?
You got there, but I just want to kind of get it kind of in a condensed form because we've kind of been talking.
Now I got to think. I got lost somewhere along the way. I had the Sammy connection through Buddy Rich. I think Buddy Rich goes to Oscar Peterson. Ernie Watts played with Oscar, and he was on Russ's Walls of Glass album.
Okay. So Russ to Watts to Peterson to Buddy Rich to Sammy Davis
Sammy.
to Judy Garland.
Now, that's more than 6 to get us all the way to Toto, but, you know, he's a little dog.
Well, wow.
And I don't know that he made a lot of recordings. So
I was going to say, I don't think
that's more of an honorary connection.
Wow. That's pretty awesome.
That is pretty awesome.
And I feel like, although I haven't looked it up, I feel like there is a connection between Oscar Peterson and Bing Crosby. Now, that's one I would have to look into. I think they cross paths on something. I can't really confirm it. But if I get there, I get someplace else really big that would kind of blow your mind.
Really?
I'm just not sure if I can do it.
Is Peterson with an S-E-N or an S-O-N?
S-O-N.
S-O-N.
Great jazz piano player. Played with hundreds of people.
And who are we looking for him? Sammy Davis Jr.?
No, to Bing Crosby.
Oh, Bing Crosby. Sorry.
I feel like he probably did something with Bing at some point. I'm just not sure where exactly it would be.
Oscar Peterson. Oh, Verve, V-E-R-V-E, Jazz #1, vinyl.
That was a label he played on
Oscar
for a lot.
Peterson. Huh?
Yeah, that was one of his jazz labels. Yeah, I'm not sure if I could get to Bing or not. That's going around the bend a little bit.
Yeah.
But Bing played with so many different people. I mean, I know Bing and Sammy were together at some point, so we sort of get there. But again, I think we're getting past 6 degrees at that point.
Right. Seems like if we cross so many years, though, maybe we ought to get a bonus year or get a bonus degree.
Well, you know, if we get to Sammy, then we get to Frank Sinatra, who of course we get to Bing, and if we've gotten to Bing, we get to David Bowie. Now that's a long connection.
Yeah.
But Bing and Bowie did that duet on Bing Crosby's final Christmas show in 1977. One of the most bizarre pairings of any musical duo ever. Actually, the song is really nice, but it's just so strange, those two. In fact, I will be watching that episode sometime this week. I watch it every year. Complete with the most bizarre thing in the middle of a Christmas show when they just suddenly cut to a David Bowie music video and that was in his weirdest of times in the late 70s. Had nothing to do with Christmas. Had nothing to do with anything. I have no idea what the producers were thinking when they decided they needed to pair those two up. But the duet they did together was really nice.
It was probably in the contract. David Bowie said, you have to show one of my videos for me to blah, blah, blah.
I'm sure that's how that worked out. And I'm sure it was the producers of the show that decided, hey, we need to reach out to a younger audience. And David Bowie's really big right now. So we're going to have him be on the show, because they recorded that show in England, which, of course, is where Bowie lived.
Yeah.
It's just such a bizarre thing.
Where did I mention Bob Clearmountain earlier in the stream? Who are we talking about?
Oh, my.
I don't remember.
Wasn't that Bryan Adams?
Perhaps so. That's like 25 connections ago.
Yeah.
I wish I could remember that. Oh, I remember now. So if we want to get from Russ to Bowie, I can get us there from all right. Well, it's a long way. It's Russ to Phil to Paul McCartney to Clear Mountain to Bowie.
That gets you there.
And yeah, I was right. That did come up with the Bryan Adams, because that's when I stumbled across Clear Mountain. And I was just thinking it would be easier to get the Bowie from especially his 80s output. So that was how I got to Clear Mountain, was from Let's Dance.
Mm-hmm. But it's more fun to get to him through Bing Crosby. Because holy cow.
Now, can you get how many degrees? How close could you get Russ Taff to Dave Brubeck?
I'd have to look into that. But I do know that Brubeck and Tony Bennett performed together.
Okay, I'm not sure I knew that.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm not sure. I'm not sure exactly where else I would make that connection.
With Brubeck?
Yeah.
Or yeah. Anybody we're missing that we would make a great connection think we hit most of the really huge artists. The Beatles, Elvis, Johnny Cash, Bob Dylan.
I gave a little bit of thought down the avenue of Cyndi Lauper. I'm not sure I could get there, but there's probably a connection.
That Cyndi Lauper,
who I could not stand in the 80s, but in recent years, she has done a blues album, a jazz crooner album, a country album. It's not as good as the other two. And she's really well suited to those.
Yeah, I liked the Detour album.
Mm-hmm.
That was a good album.
Well, I thought her blues album was really, really good.
Oh, there's all kinds of connections between Russ and Cyndi.
Oh, yeah?
On the Detours album, playing guitar, Kenny Greenberg, Ashley Cleveland's husband.
There you go.
I
figured one of those albums she did in recent years, there was going to be a player on there that was going to connect them. I just hadn't looked it up.
We also have Jimmy Lee Sloas. I don't know how you say his last name. Sloas.
I think it's Sloas.
Sloas. I don't know. I don't know that they've worked together directly. I know, Jimmy Lee was in the Imperials, and of course he was in the Imperials with Ron Hemby.
Mm-hmm.
So there's that. Oh. Guess who sang backup on this album? Kim Keys.
Ah, nice. That's a nice connection.
Hello to Psycho Platters. One of the Psycho Platters is a VC channel.
Cool.
Yeah, Kim Keys. So there's a direct connection. And then you also have like Alison Krauss and Emmylou Harris singing on this thing. Willie Nelson.
Yeah.
Vince Gill.
Yeah, there was a slew of them, and it was a really fine album.
Oh yeah. But yeah, Kim Keys. You can't get almost a much better direct connection to Ross than Kim.
That's three.
Wow.
Yeah. Oh,
wow.
I
knew we'd find
I just
one.
noticed this. Greg Morrow on drums. From DeGarmo and Key Band.
Yeah.
And if I throw out something that you obviously would already know, it's because I'm remembering that there are other people hopefully watching this at some point. Yeah, so man,
there will be. It's going to go viral, and you know it.
Yeah. Wow. I didn't realize I was going to get those kind of results by clicking on that link to this album. But yeah, there's a lot of great connections right there. I was getting ready to click on True Colors thinking it was a big 80s album. Well, Dave, where do you keep going? I'm going to look at the personnel on this, see if there are any connections from here. There he is.
That's bizarre.
More Rapture practice.
Something. Yeah, I don't know what keeps happening there. It just goes away.
Yeah, the connections on the new album are a lot better. I thought maybe there might be some good connections.
Next time that happens, Dave, you should like not be there when it comes back.
But the connections on that album are better than the one in this True Colors in the 80s, which is where I thought we might get a better connection. But
no, I figured either the country album or the blues album would get us pretty close.
Pee Wee Herman was on the True Colors album, guest operator. Guess he has a speaking part. Wow. Yeah, which reminds me, Russ is credited on a Jeff Foxworthy album. Didn't know how to make that connection useful, but it's there. Wait, we got some new comments that I'm not seeing here. Oh, plethora of great musicians there. Yeah. Oh, okay. Love some early DeGarmo and Key. I do too. Been really digging the new reissues of the first 3 DeGarmo and Key albums. That's some killer stuff. I'd love to see the live album get reissued.
Yep.
I don't know if that's going to happen or not, but let's see. How about that? We got a good connection on Cyndi Lauper. I didn't see that one coming.
Nobody did, except maybe me. I knew we'd find it, and didn't even have to dig very deep.
Right, we've done really good tonight as far as making lots of connections.
I'm feeling like I'm tapped out.
I knew we would, so
I think I'm getting there too. This might be a video to revisit someday, because I'm sure we can go a lot of different other directions with it as well.
Oh yeah.
But it was fun. I'm glad I thought of it.
I'm glad you did too.
I still can't remember exactly when it really popped into my head, but I just kept thinking, who hasn't Russ got some kind of connection to? And I still think there's a lot of area to explore, especially because, like I said, I expected Gaither's name to come up a lot tonight, and it really didn't. We didn't really get deep into Southern gospel, and there's probably a lot more avenue to cover in country. And
Bill Gaither is too easy, I think. That's probably why we avoided him.
Well,
I mean, I'm not trying to be funny. I'm just.
Oh yeah. Well, and I should have pulled some of the stuff that because it'd be hard to remember exactly all the people that he's connected to over the years with the Gaithers. So there's probably some more to be done, but I'm glad we did this. It was fun, and I'm glad we got to Toto.
Yeah, Toto the dog.
We got the
not
Toto and Snoop Dogg.
Yep.
And some other unusual things. So I appreciate you all for joining me tonight.
It was fun. I enjoyed it.
Yeah. So I guess we need to wrap this up. So for anyone that was watching this, we appreciate you, especially if you've watching this on replay and what we've been going for. We're a little over 2 hours. So man, you got to be dedicated to put this on. Treat it like a podcast.
And you know, can
There you go.
I make a suggestion for anybody who
Yes.
watches this after the fact? Is if you have any suggestions or challenges, you know, you can put it in the comments. Or if you have any corrections or anything else, just put it in the comments. We'll see it. We'll see it later.
Yeah.
So yeah.
We'd love to
the
have
video is over
have
doesn't
a
mean the
list
conversation has to be.
We'd love to have a list of the challenges. Maybe
Yeah,
we
yeah.
might even pick another artist at some point, but definitely Russ has been a lot of fun to get into his background and see who we can connect to him. So we're going to wrap this up. Like I said, thanks to everybody who watched tonight and or who will be watching in the future. And thank you for sticking it out with us. We hope you're having a great holiday season.
Yeah. And just one more thing from me, since Russ is traveling right now, I think he's traveling right now. Let's all pray for some traveling mercies for him while he gets home.
Yes. Yes.
Yep. Exactly. Yeah.
And I think I forgot earlier. I really wanted to do a moment of silence for Maysville or for Mayfield, Kentucky. So let's do that. Well, it's kind of weird on the back end of it. Let's just rather than that, let's just pray for a minute. And I'll lead us real quick and then we'll close. So God, we just come to you and we are thankful for your mercy and grace. We thank you for your strength in times of trial. We'd ask that you'd comfort and strengthen the people that were in the path of this deadly tornado Friday night. Just give them strength to get through the days ahead. To lose your home right before Christmas, I can't even imagine. And the destruction of the storm was so devastating. But we know that you love us. And I would pray that all of these people would find a peace that passes understanding, that they would know your healing hand in this time of trial. We also pray for Russ Taff tonight as he travels back to his home from being out and singing your gospel. We pray that he'd have a safe journey. And we thank you for his career, for his being a gospel singer, for his going out and doing it for you. And we're just thankful to know him. What a sweet brother. So we thank you for him and Tori and their daughters. We thank you for Larry and Susan Hall, who are like family to us, and we thank you so much for protecting them last night, that no harm came to them.
Yes.
We're just so thankful for all of that. And thank you so much.
I'd like to add.
Go ahead.
I'd like to add that we'd pray for all of the people who are going to help those affected by the tornadoes, to all of the loving and the giving hearts.
Yes.
And the people and their generosity. May you please bless them as well.
Yes, yes. All the first responders. Yes, we want to thank you for them as well. Yes. So God, we just thank you for all of that. We leave it in your hands. And thank you so much. In Jesus' name we pray.
Glory.
Amen.
Praise God. Amen.
So
That was
Yeah.
nice. Yeah, thank you.
well, it's just it's hard to think about what people are going through right now. Having their whole, I've been thinking about all the problems that I've been kind of wrestling with and just hanging on to, and then we see all these people get their homes just
It
wiped
doesn't,
out, and it just puts
your
everything in
problems,
perspective.
everyone's problems are important, but it does, like you said, it does kind of keep us, our perspective. Yeah.
Right.
Know.
So it seems like, I just so I just look at that and I just think, hopefully these people can keep it together and have some kind of Christmas that that goes beyond the pain and suffering they're going through right now. That they'll look back on this and there'll be something that they can hang on to, So anyway,
most likely it'll be the love of the helpers.
yeah.
Always look for the helpers. Yep.
Anyway, we thank everybody again. Hope you're having a great holiday, and we will see you soon. For now, we're out of here. Peace.
I had fun. Bye-bye.